Guys, welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to be teaching you all about variables and constants by creating a program that can help you get a better understanding of this chapter. The program we're going to create today is a program that calculates the price of 3 or more items and gives you the subtotal, the tax, and the overall total. So let's get started. You're going to want to open up a new project and call it receipt. I already did that. So the first topic we're going to cover is declaring variables. The very first thing you want to do before you code is declare your variables. By doing that, you're giving them a meaning or value, almost like you're giving them a meaning to their life. So how that would look like is like this. So you would type in int 1, semicolon. When you assign a variable, you can do a lot with your variable, including assigning a specific value to it. Here's an example. So, like that. When you assign a variable value, you're basically telling the code that whenever it sees the variable, it's going to automatically think, oh, this variable is equal to 1. And then it's going to do whatever it does with it. At that point, it's going to actually be called a constant because value doesn't change at all throughout the code, unless you tell it to, but that's another story. We're not using any constants in this tutorial, but at least you know what they are. You're probably wondering what the int was. And basically, it's something called a data type. It basically tells us what type of data this variable will store, whether it's an integer or double or string or whatever. In our program, we're only going to use double because we're dealing with decimals. Okay, so now we're going to create variables for our program. The variables that we're going to need are the 3 prices, the subtotal, tax, and the total. So you can go ahead and declare them. We're going to call them price 1 and price 2 and price 3. We're only doing 3, but you could add more. And then the subtotal, the tax, and total. Alright, the next thing we want to do is add some sort of text to tell the user to input the 3 prices. The way we do that is by using system.outprint. Print like that. This gets the output of the variable. So we're going to want to put in brackets and quotation marks. Enter the price of 3 items. There you go. The next topic we're going to cover is using variables. When you use a variable, you're going to put it into an assignment statement, which is basically another way of a variable receiving a value. You can give it a value by putting it into an equation. So let's take subtotal, for instance, and go subtotal is going to equal to the price of 1 plus price of 2 plus the price of 3. Okay. What we did here is basically we told the code that the subtotal value is equal to all the prices added up. And then you can go ahead and do that to the tax and total. The tax equals subtotal times it by 0.13 and add 0.13, I believe. Oh, and also the tax is based in Manitoba, so yeah. Okay, the total is equal to the subtotal plus the tax. Oh, add your semicolon. Okay, so we got the variables and we got the values of the variables. But now we need to get the price of the items from the user, which brings us to our next topic, packages and user input. In order to get user input, you need to import a package that reads the input and actually stores it. We're going to be using the java.util package, so you could just go underneath the package receipt and type in import java.util. Next thing we're going to need to add is the scanner file, so you're just going to finish it and type in .scanner. Now we're going to type in the scanner input, which is basically the standard input stream. And you're just going to type it underneath the declared variables. And you're just going to go scanner input is equal to new scanner bracket system dot semicolon a. Okay, then we actually want to get the value of each price, and to do that, we put it in an assignment statement. But instead of an equation, it's going to be a input.next. So you can go underneath the enter here and type in price1 is equal to input.next double bracket and that. And then you're just going to do that for all the prices. Okay. What this input.next value does is it basically returns the number read from this input, and yeah, and then it applies it to wherever it needs to be applied. Okay, so that's basically all the code. Oh, actually, we need to create a text that displays a subtotal and tax. So to do that, you're going to want to type in system.out.println bracket subtotal plus subtotal. So what the ln means is it's creating a new line underneath the previous text, and the plus subtotal is basically adding the value of the subtotal to the text. Okay, go ahead and do that with your tax. Oh, make sure that this is before the text, or else it's not gonna work, because we need to calculate the subtotal first in order to display it. Okay? Oh. Okay. Make sure to add the line for all of them so it's organized. And 1 second. Okay, and then you're just gonna go ahead and do that for the total as well. System.out.println total dot plus. Okay, so basically that's all of the code, and if we run it, it'll ask us the price of 3 items we want to calculate. So let's do 20, $5.99, and $13.29. And there you have it. It gives us subtotal, it gives us a tax, and it gives us the total. But we don't want all these decimals here. So we're going to use something called a number format, which brings us to our next topic, or actually I think this is our last, yeah, which is all about formatting decimals. When you format a decimal, you basically want it a specific way, like a percentage or rounded to the nearest whatever, or in our case, the money form. And to do that, we use another package called java.text, which focuses on the format of the text. So let's go back up here and type in import java.text, and then the class we're going to be using is the number format class, which is basically a class that creates objects that format the numbers. Next, we need to input the type of number format we need. So we're just gonna go ahead and go underneath here and type in number format money is equal to number, oh, make sure it's capital, I think. Number format dot get currency. It's right there. Oh, instance brackets semicolon. So what this basically does is it tells the code that we want the format to be in money form. So then we're gonna go to the text of the subtotal and the tax and the total, and we're going to format the decimal. So we're just gonna put in money.format in front of the subtotal, and then we're gonna put it in brackets, which is basically telling it to put the money format here. Okay, and then just go ahead and do that for the rest. Okay, hold on. Okay, now if we run it, it should work. Let's type in the same numbers again. 20, $5.99, oops, and $13.29. And there you have it. It gives you it in the money format, or it puts it in the price form. Okay, so that's basically the gist of variables and constants. I hope you learned something by watching this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.